All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Seattle Seahawks rookie fullback Robbie Uts. That's right, guys, we're talking fullback play, and I'm excited to do it. This rookie is a key part of an unstoppable force that is the Seattle offense. We'll break down everything he's doing so well and why he's so important. As always, in the comment section below, give us any feedback you might have. If you're a fan of these film reviews and want to help support us, please become a member of our channel. There's a link in the description box below that will take you right there. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's get started with a check-the-box kind of play. And there's Robbie Uts in a standard fullback position and an I formation alignment. We're going to get a power concept here from the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to get a double team right here, working up to the backside linebacker, down block here, guard pulling and wrapping around. We're going to get the fullback through, leading on the in-man line of scrimmage, a little motion pre-snap, just to get a little flow from the linebackers and safeties. But the key block, or one of the key blocks, is Uts right here on this defensive end. And it's not just for the success of this play, but it's to force these defensive ends to stay wide, to stay assignment focused, right? Because if these defensive ends in any NFL defense against any NFL team, Arizona or otherwise, if they don't fear the fullback hitting them in the mouth, they can get the full-on pass rush mode and disrupt any offense. Robbie Uts in the game adds an element because of his blocking. Let's check it out. There's the motion. There's the snap. There's the handoff. Not a whole lot there, pretty well defended. But let's look at Uts, again at the point of the attack on this defensive end. Boom, helmet into him, drives him out of the hole a little bit. That's good blocking. This double team is not great, if we're going to be totally honest there. Zabel pulling around. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not terrible. Arizona just defends us pretty well, right? You got to get more movement on this double team right here. Like, they do a good job getting up to 27, but you really need to dent the defense with this double team. But it's one of those things, because the defense has to prepare for this, because they have to prepare for Uts, because they have to prepare for Zabel and these double teams, it opens up other facets of this offense. It generates big plays, because what the Seahawks have done that's so genius is that they force defenses to plan for everything, because guess what? If you don't fit the power correctly, teams like Seattle will run the football 15 yards per carry on you with Uts just slamming you in the face all play, all day, every single game. But because they can run it correctly, defenses have to adjust. They have to fit to it, which means you run a play action boot next time, and it's a huge play. But it only works, once again, if Uts, or whoever your fullback is willing to be physical and tough and hard-nosed, and the rookie is, with a good block on the edge. All right, from the wide copy, watch Uts right there in the standard fullback position. We get the motion pre-snap. There's the snap. Boom. Good shock. See how he stays low and lifts up the defensive end right there? Low and lifts him up, gets him a little airborne. Love to see it. That's good job right there by Uts. Zabel gets on the backside linebacker, the play side linebacker. They work up to the backside linebacker with the guard. It's just this double team at the point of attack isn't great. But it's one of those things, right? When you force defenses to prepare for it, right? Look how hard these linebackers are flowing downhill. Look at the backside corner, right? He's flying downhill. What do you think is going to be open? You're going to get a play action boot and the receiver working a deep cross and a deep post behind it, and they're both going to be wide open, as we saw later on in the game for the Seattle Seahawks. But you have to be willing to run the football. You have to have guys that are willing to throw their face mask into the chest of a defensive end like Uts right here to set up the big plays. 40 has a key role in this offense. All right, how about old school football once again in an I formation? We're going to get a lead draw concept. That's right, it's not 1995, it's 2025, but Clint Kubiak is bringing it back. We're going to get a double team right here, a draw double team to the backside linebacker. A draw double team is kind of like a normal double team, but obviously it's a little bit slower. You're not firing off hyper aggressive. You're kind of pass setting a little bit before working your double team and then working up to the linebacker. We're going to get a one-on-one block right here, one-on-one block right here, one-on-one block here, one-on-one block here, and Uts right there is going to set for a second and then go up the field, try and navigate the trash and take out number 50 with a really nice cut block. Guys, Uts does a really good job here. Again, it's one of those things, having a versatile player like Robbie Uts opens up so many other things for your offense. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's a handoff. Running back does a good job trying to fight through and only get a couple yards. Again, the Seattle Seahawks offense on a per play basis isn't actually the most impressive thing in the world, but all these little plays, they set up the monster plays, which makes them virtually unstoppable. And Uts, again, has a key role. You can see number 50 right there. It's a draw play. He's trying to read and react. He's backpedaling a little bit. So what does Uts do? Navigate the traffic, throw a good cut block. Right here, guys, 50's done. He's lost. Right? Obviously, the running back has to cut around and avoid people, so he's not able to get through. But I tell you what, if you're a linebacker this late in the play and you're right here in this position, you've lost. right? This is as good as basically blocking him straight up. And because you have a linebacker that's now playing, trying to defend his knees, trying to defend his ankles, he's now going to be out of position the rest of the game. So imagine the next time they're in formation, right here, number 50, he knows a cut block happened before. So what's he going to do? He may jump around. He may try and hide behind 94, the defensive end. What does that open up? A little slant behind for a big play action play. Guys, all these plays feed on each other, but they only work if you have offensive linemen, if you have running backs, tight ends, fullbacks that are willing to block. And Robbie Uts, being a fullback, a rare breed in today's NFL, is so important. It doesn't look like much, it doesn't seem like much, but he plays a critical role in the Seattle offense. And for the wide copy, you see Uts in the fullback, delays, navigates through the trash. Right there, that's winning. Because here's the thing. 9 times out of 10, if you get a better block here from the right guard, if you get a better block, you're creasing this and you're in the secondary and it's a huge play. But that's the beautiful thing about Seattle. Because the running game, because they have to block everybody or they try to block everybody or influence everybody, right here, the defense feels run. They like, okay, we're going downhill. But there's going to be times where it's a play action boot or a play action deep shot, and they're going to be totally out of position because they're so used to Robbie Uts throwing his helmet at their knees. They're so used to offensive linemen getting movement at the point of attack, receivers downfield blocking. Because of the effort as a team the Seattle Seahawks uses, it forces the defense literally to play every single possible play, every single snap. And if you have to do that, as Seattle has proven, you will eventually break, and that's why the Seahawks are so unstoppable. All right, coming off the end zone, there's Uts right there in a standard fullback I formation alignment, but he's going to actually go in motion pre-snap and settle up in an offset position behind the guard. And it's going to be a simple power concept. We're going to get base block here, we're going to get down blocks here, working up to the next level, and Uts is going to come out here and kick out the in-man on the line of scrimmage. And guys, it's another impact block. It's a great job from the young fullback. Unfortunately, the running back, I think he feels a little penetration right here in his face, gets nervous and cuts it up inside, which I don't blame him near the goal line, but there's a huge hole here if he would have hit it. Uts opened it up. Let's check it out. There's motion. There's a snap. Inside run. Barely escapes the end zone. Man, that was close. Let's look at this hole right here on the right side. Right there. Look at this crease. That's one-on-one with a corner, guys, with a lot of green grass to work with for a 99-yard touchdown. That's how close they are. As good as the Seattle Seahawks is, and Seahawks fans, this should get you really excited, they missed out on a lot of opportunities. I mean, they score 40 a game, it seems. They score 38, 44, however many points a game. They look like a machine. And they do it missing opportunities like this. I mean, a little bit better block by the right tackle, not giving up so much ground. 26 hits this crease, and he may be going 99. They could have put a 50 burger on Arizona, right? This is how good they are. Uts, love the block, love the physicality. Go out in motion, fly your head out there, boom, lift him up. This is a recurring theme with Robbie Uts. When he gets in a go, guys, he lifts him. Oh, my goodness gracious. Watch this explosiveness. Right there, go low. Look at that. Airborne, the defender. Love to see that. Look at that movement. The collision is made right here. Where's the defender end up? All the way back, almost past the hash. We're talking 2-3 yards of movement, opening up this crease. And again, it all feeds off itself, right? Going forward, this defensive end knows, okay, I can't have that happen. He'll try and fight inside. He won't be anywhere near where he needs to be in terms of defending play action or defending the bootleg, which means you get big passing plays. It all feeds off each other, guys. It's why it's so important to have a guy like Robbie Uts delivering physical blocks like we see here. After the wide copy, watch Uts again. He's going to go in motion, settle up in the I formation, go in motion again. Boom. Guys, one-on-one. I mean, look at this hole. I mean, this is one missed tackle away. Everyone's blocked. This whole side's caved in. Uts has lifted this guy out of the hole. Look at this crease. This is a touchdown, right? This is either like a 7-8 yard run off the goal line or a touchdown. Running back just doesn't feel comfortable. And look, I get it. You're seeing your offensive lineman get walked back into the end zone, right? You just try and get north and south and get what you can. I understand. Need a better block here for sure by the right tackle. But I tell you what, guys, looking at 40 here at the point of attack, boom. That's physical football. And here's the beautiful part. This kind of ball, let's say it's not your best day passing, right? Let's say it's a windy day or it's raining or whatever, right? Just you're a little off. This kind of physical football, this will translate. This physicality at the fullback position, it doesn't care if it's 30 degrees or minus 30 degrees. Doesn't care if it's no wind or 50-mile-an-hour winds. If you hit like this at the fullback position and can run behind 40, you'll win regardless of the condition. All right, going the other way now. This time the Seattle Seahawks are driving in to score. You can see the goal line is just a few yards away. And what you'll notice here, Robbie Uts lines up as the tight end, or really a third tight end. You can see they've got two offensive linemen, a heavy tackle, a tight end, and Uts over here on the left. And he's going to come in motion, settle up here, and then shift again. I mean, they do a lot with this fullback. It's very impressive. But it's a very similar kind of play. We're going to get down blocks, down blocks, and Uts after he settles in here. He's going to kick out. And guys, on the play side, they do a great job. Unfortunately, on the backside, they screw it up here. It ends up getting blown up here once again from the backside. But the physicality of Robbie Uts, again, it's one of these things that I think will translate if the Seattle Seahawks can do a little bit better blocking, then their rushing game is about to explode. I know it sounds crazy to say just because how good their offense already is, but guys, they're only scratching the surface. Let's check it out. There's the motion. All right, it's going to settle up in the eye. Offset eye right there. Fires off. Boom. Lifts him up. Secures the edge. Walks him out of the hole. Right there. That should have been a touchdown. Ugh. 82 on the backside. Not great. You know, I understand why number 9, a little jump cut right there. And then this is the thing. Gray's able. I think that's right there. Missing the block there. Forces a jump cut a little bit. But I honestly think if they block it a little bit better and he just runs north and south hard through here, there's a chance he falls forward and maybe scores anyway. It's a great effort there to get what he could. So give credit to the running back for sure. The Seattle Seahawks, they put up 40s on the Arizona Cardinals. Made it look easy at times. Obviously, 2 defensive touchdowns helps. But guys, they didn't block great with a lot of their plays. Zabel missing, 82 missing. Like, they could have done so much better. There was so much meat on the bone. And that's why I'm excited about Robbie Uts, because this kind of physicality, no team has a fullback that's willing to do this, right? Maybe the Baltimore Ravens, but that's Patrick Ricard. He's basically a guard. He's 300 pounds if they line up at the fullback position. No one has a fullback / tight end that's willing to do all this stuff. Go all the way in motion, circle back around, line up all over the field, and then fire off and, you know, hit a defensive end in the jaw and root him out the hole. This is the little things, right? This is the stuff that doesn't go noticed that I think will have a big impact going forward. All right, from the wide copy, you can see the motion right there. It's going to settle up right behind the guard. Fires off. Boom. Couldn't quite get there. Again, you can see number 82, top of your screen, gets beat. I honestly think if 82 does a better job here, he hits this crease. I mean, they got guys in the end zone. I think this should have been a touchdown, to be totally honest. I mean, Zabel missing his block at the point of attack certainly didn't help matters either. But the reality is, if you look at the technique of Uts right there, see how he's so parallel to line of scrimmage, keeps the defensive end out. He doesn't put his butt in the hole, right? He doesn't turn out or anything like that, which can constrict the hole. He keeps his body square, keeps his shoulders square, keeps the defensive end out. I mean, technically sound, physical. He's everything you want in a fullback. All right, quick break in the film review. Look, I was taught to break down film by my college coaches at the Division I level. All the players are. It's just a fact of playing football at that level. And I want to take this opportunity to give you guys, the average fan, more opportunities to get that insider knowledge of how the game is taught at that highest level of college football. I created a checklist, a step-by-step guide for you guys, 100% free. That's based on how I was taught to break down film by my coaches and that I use today to create these film reviews. There's a link in the description box below that'll take you right to it. I really appreciate it if you guys decide to get it. Again, 100% free, just trying to share information to you guys, stuff that was taught to me by my coaches. But without further ado, let's get back into the film. All right, let's get a little play action game, and there's Uts right here. And the Seattle Seahawks are going to fake inside zone this direction and boot around just like that. And obviously, the Arizona Cardinals at this point, they're used to seeing Uts come in motion and do some things, so they're caught 100% napping when Uts just stays in this position and just crashes down the defensive line. Again, these linebackers, these safeties right here, they're all used to seeing one thing all game long. Uts go in motion and then kick out or lead his way through the hole, and they fly down and react to it. Instead, what happens, Uts just settles in right here, blocks down, quarterback boots leg, no one is near him, hits a wide open crosser for a big play. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's a play fake. Darnold on the edge. All kinds of space. JSN's open. Big play. You know, it's not that easy, but boy, oh boy, it looks it. Because, I mean, listen, he could have hit the tight end right there for an easy 7 or 8. Instead, he goes downfield for an easy 20. I mean, this is the Seattle Seahawks offense, guys. But it's the little things. Watch Uts right here on this defensive end. Caves him down inside completely. Watch him just obliterate this side of the defense right here. Look at this. Boom. No one's getting close to the quarterback now. I mean, this is good blocking right here. Great job by Robbie Uts. Again, he's a physical dude. He's an eye effort dude. Love to see it. But you can see the attention right here. Everyone's flowing downhill. They boot outside. I mean, he's got guys open for days. Open, right? There's a chance, obviously, he was already throwing. But if he wanted to, maybe he could have run out in space and threatened number 5 before throwing it to the tight end, right? This is what happens when you run the football. This is why the Seattle Seahawks love Robbie Uts. Because he goes in the game and everyone's thinking, run, watch Uts, key on Uts. And then he just does normal pass blocking. He does a good job of it. I think he does a really good, effort here. Right, again, hand in the hips, shoving him down. Love to see that. But it's nothing spectacular, but it just opens up everything because everyone's thinking run. Now they're all on the edge. They're out of position, and it results in a big play for Seattle. All right, for the wide copy to get a really good look at Uts right there. Watch him crash down the defense. I mean, that's a really good job. He gets out in the route as a check down to boot. I mean, just good football here from 40. But watch the linebackers and safeties, right? They're all out of position. They're beat right now, right? Everyone's scrambling. Right there, you could have hit the tight end for like an easy 7 or 8. Instead, Darnold says, I'll just throw it downfield for a little bit harder 20. And the Seattle Seahawks offense, because they come out in so much fullback heavy, tight end heavy packages, everyone on the defense is expecting one thing, and they're out of position off the rip. But again, it only works if you have competent people like Robbie Uts. He can do things like this, crash down a defensive end in pass pro, do well as a run blocker, go in motion. If you don't have an Uts, a guy who's versatile, a lot of this stuff doesn't work. You see this big play to JSN, it starts with number 40. All right, this play is a perfect example of the effect Robbie Uts, and there he is, of course, lined up in a standard I formation behind the quarterback, the effect he has. And he's going to go in motion and just lead right here, just like the standard zone lead kind of stuff, everyone working this direction. I want you guys to watch everybody keying on number 40. They go where he goes, right? So it's going to be a lead pass, so the running back is following Uts right there, but everyone is tracking. Everyone is flying to wherever number 40 is going, and they overrun the play. It opens up a massive cutback for 26. Let's check it out. A little bit of motion. There's a snap. There's a handoff. There's a cutback. Nobody's home. Look at this. Look at this. Another big play. And almost a hip drop tackle at the end. Hopefully everyone's all right. All right, let's go back to the very beginning. Robbie Uts doesn't do anything spectacular, guys. He just fires off. Gets on the defensive end. I mean, that's fine. Nothing special. That's his job. Again, nothing wrong with that. But look where everyone is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a corner right there on the right side of your screen you may not be able to tell. There's 5 guys that are totally just fired to the outside. And there's 2 guys right here that are overrunning the play as well. They get caught in a little trash, and then suddenly he's gone. When you have a fullback, defenses don't know how to handle it, right? They're not used to it. It's not 1995 anymore. They don't know how to fit it. Now, again, a lot of teams, they try with the fullback, but it doesn't work this well because their fullback isn't versatile. The fullback can't line up as a tight end. He can't go in motion. He can't block very well. So even though they use the fullback, it doesn't have the same effect because even though teams overreact to it, the reality is it only works. They only will overreact if the fullback is competent. I mean, we saw what Robbie Uts did to the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier this season. And you can see right here, the Arizona Cardinals, this is a game plan. They say, listen, wherever 40 goes, fly to him. And they are, and guess what happens? There's a massive cutback. This is the Robbie Uts effect. All right, let's end on another effect that Robbie Uts has. And there he is, of course, lined up as the second tight end over here. But he's going to come in motion and be a fullback like he's been all game long. It's going to be a standard zone lead to the left. We're going to get base block there. And Uts is going to lead on the play side linebacker, whoever fills up in this gap right here. Now, what's going to happen is that whoever fills and tries to take on Uts, he's tired. He basically gives up and submarines number 40. Technically a penalty, but this is the attitude shift. Teams basically give up because they run out of options. Let's check it out. All right, there's the motion. Settles up in the eye. All right, there's a snap. There's the handoff. Not a whole lot there. Again, Gray's able, not his best day right there. Not great from the rookie. But let's look at Uts right there, leading the way through. Gets on the linebacker. What's the linebacker do? Just submarine him. You going to make any tackles like this? No. Right? Honestly, this is bad football from the linebacker, right? Because if they get a better block right there by the left guard, there's a chance for that cutback seam right there. And this is what happens, though, when you have a fullback and you're able to do so many different things. Linebackers, defensive linemen, safeties, they just give up. They're just like, all right, listen, we're just going to create a pile. We're just going to try and do something because what we're doing doesn't work. We overreact to the run. It doesn't work, right? You come in motion and you're able to kick out the defensive ends and run it behind us and we can't stop it, right? You come out in heavy formation and the play action kills us. So we're basically playing pass right now. They're basically playing pass defense right now. Look at this. I mean, no one is trying to attack and fill here on the backside. Everyone's deep in coverage. You've got a defensive end way out here trying to stop the bootleg. The Arizona Cardinals, they just are out of answers. So what do? Let's just create a pile. Let's just see if we can survive like this. And obviously, defensively, you can't. If this is the way you have to play defense against Seattle, folks, eventually, the second half of the season, the Seahawks will run the ball 5-6 yards a carry. They'll just run this play every single snap and never punt. I mean, they're rarely punting now, but they may literally never punt. And this is because of their entire offensive strategy with Glenn Kubiak and Sam Darnold playing well and obviously the receivers. But Uts plays a key role. The fact he can come in motion, the fact that he's physical, the fact he can do so many things, it forces defenses to plan for everything all the time in simple personnel packages. And so far, no team has the answer. Again, the Robbie Uts effect, it doesn't look like a lot, but I tell you what, folks, it has a huge impact in the positive column for Seattle.